Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about 7 things that I no longer buy since becoming more minimalistic. I've seen this topic being talked about by a lot of other minimalist channels, 10 things I no longer buy, 5 things I no longer buy, etc., etc. I don't know who started the tag, but I've seen it on Sarah Teresa's channel. I've also seen it on some channels that aren't minimalist channels. I'm forgetting the others off the top of my head, but I'll link them below. They were sort of my inspiration for this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that I no longer buy are dryer sheets. I think in 2020, a lot of people have caught on to the idea that we don't need to be buying dryer sheets. It's pretty wasteful on the wallet and on the planet because you use them once, sometimes twice. I think my mom used them like 4 or 5 times, but then eventually they end up in the trash and you have to keep repurchasing it. So the alternative that I have found and many other people have found are dryer balls. The second thing on the list is makeup. And I don't mean all makeup. I just mean makeup that I was buying because of the hype and or because I felt like I needed it to be more beautiful, to sculpt my face, to have bigger eyes, better eyebrows, whatever it may be. For a, unfortunately, large part of my high school life, I didn't feel beautiful enough. And I don't know why that was. It wasn't anything that was coming externally. It was just, I think it's a difficult time in a lot of people's lives with self-image and all of that. So the solution that I found for that was to pile on makeup to my face. I would cover up my acne, I would cover up my acne scars, I would do anything I can to make my eyes look bigger, my eyebrows, more shapely, my lips bigger, my nose smaller, whatever it may be, whatever I didn't like about myself. And I think this was accelerated a lot by YouTube. Not that I'm saying beauty YouTubers are bad or wrong for, posting what they love, but I would see them reviewing all these things and I felt this urge, I was influenced by them to buy. And the older I get, the more I prefer a more natural look. I understand that makeup for a lot of people is a passion, it's a hobby, it's an art form. And that's wonderful. If that is what it is for you, then please collect all the makeup in the world, buy every new launch, every color eyeshadow, whatever it may be. But I found for me personally, that's not what it was. It was that I was comparing myself to other people and feeling inadequate. Therefore, I bought more makeup to try and look better, to feel better, to be prettier, whatever it may be. And it just never worked out. I found that the older that I got, not that I'm old, but the older that I got, the more I felt comfortable with less on my face. Also, something that I've learned as I've gotten older, which is sort of on the topic of makeup, is that there is room for all. And what I mean by that is just because somebody else is beautiful, that doesn't take away the beauty that you also have. There are room for 2, 3, 4, 5, hundreds, millions of beautiful people, heart, soul, and appearance in the world. And beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. You could look very attractive to somebody and very much not to somebody else. So I think the older I've gotten, I've just understood that I have to learn to be comfortable with myself and be comfortable with the way I look and the way I want to present myself. And for me, that just means less makeup. It's honestly made my life easier. I feel like getting ready is quicker. I don't have to make any decisions with regards to my makeup because it's all there. It's very minimal. And for me, it works. For you, it may not, especially if makeup is a passion of yours. And that's why I don't buy unnecessary makeup anymore. So the third thing on my list is unneeded skincare. And this kind of goes hand in hand with unneeded makeup. Once I made the transition to not buying as much makeup and wanting to be more natural, I then jumped on the train of trying to make my skin as nice as it could be. And for a long time, similar to makeup, I was buying things that I thought would fix the problem because of advertising, or I was influenced by them, or somebody recommended them to me, but then they didn't end up working for my skin. So I accumulated a ton of skincare products. I had at one point like 5 cleansers, a bunch of moisturizers, treatments, this, that, the other thing. And a lot of it was very, very expensive because I had the impression that if it was expensive, it was probably because they were putting quality ingredients into the product. And I have found out that is not true. A lot of times skincare is expensive for the same reason that designer clothes are expensive. They're not necessarily always better quality. Some of the time they are, but they aren't necessarily better quality. It's just the brand recognition. What my dermatologist told me is that skincare is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you purchase things with the correct ingredients for your skin and your needs at whatever walk of life you're in, you will be far better with anti-aging, removing acne, whatever your skincare concerns are, than if you try to get an instant fix. And I think that's true of anything in life. You can't get an instant fix with your skincare. You can't get an instant fix with your diet. A lot of times losing weight, instant fixes don't work. Instant fix doesn't work to clean your house. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So what I've been doing is I've been buying skincare with a lot of research being done. So I research the ingredients. I research how certain ingredients will react with ingredients that I'm already using in my skincare routine. I've talked to my dermatologist, which wasn't something that I did before. I was just sort of flying blind and listening to YouTubers and various other people that have completely different skin than me about what's best for my skin. So I finally got in touch with a dermatologist. So I do still have kind of a lot of skincare, at least in my opinion, compared to most of my friends and family. However, it's curated. It's stuff I use. It's stuff that's fragrance-free. It's stuff that has key ingredients that are gonna attack the problems that I have. Now, that's not to say I don't take recommendations anymore. I do. I still watch YouTubers that talk about skincare. I still will look into the recommendations. I just don't blindly buy it because I trust them. I trust them and then I do research. There's a delay between hearing about it and buying it that I didn't used to have. So number 4 on my list is jewelry that's not real. And what I mean by that is semi-precious metals. I don't need all of the gemstones to necessarily be real. Like these are cubic zirconium in silver. It's just I'm sick of jewelry turning my skin green or falling apart or getting tarnished or all these various things that happen with cheaper made jewelry. I don't like most trendy jewelry. I just like classic pieces that will last a lifetime and can be handed down maybe to my daughter one day if I have a daughter. Not pregnant, just will be one day. My preference for jewelry were things that were more minimal, things that were dainty, things that were simple, things that were timeless. I just find that that goes better with my style. So it was a very easy transition to make to stop buying trendy jewelry because it never really fit in with my style to begin with. So I buy things that are made of silver and white gold. I don't wear yellow gold, I don't wear rose gold. I find that silver toned jewelry complements my skin best. So I try to buy my watches silver toned, my jewelry silver toned, even my purses I try to find with silver toned hardware or like gunmetal hardware. I just stay away from gold and I stay away from fake jewelry. Number 5 on the list is trendy clothing and or clothing that's not my style. I used to buy a lot of trendy clothing and I had a lot of clothing in my closet. There was one point where I had so much clothing in my closet that the bar that all the clothing lays on was starting to bow downward because of the weight of all of the clothing. And I had clothing that didn't even make sense. I had clothing for a climate that I didn't live in, although I still have some clothing for a climate that I don't live in, but it makes sense now. And if you watch my last video about my closet declutter, you'll understand why I still have winter coats, even though I live in California where there's no real winter. So click over to that. Is it this side or this side? I don't know, never done it before. So I found that with clothing, it was very similar to makeup, where I was comparing myself to other people, and that's why I was constantly intaking more. I would see somebody with very cool style who styled an outfit in a way that I never thought to, and then I felt like I had to go buy those pieces right away. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong from seeing somebody dressed well on the street and pulling inspiration from that. Where I had the problem was I would see somebody in, say, boho clothing. Now, I love boho clothing. I love the way it looks on other people, but I've never liked the way it looks on me. But I would see it on somebody, go to the store, buy something similar, put it in my closet. It wouldn't make sense with any of the other things that I had in my closet, so then it wouldn't get worn, and when I would wear it, it wouldn't make me feel particularly confident. So I said enough is enough. So one day I just looked at my closet and I said, I need this to be cohesive. I don't feel confident in most of the style profiles and clothing that I have in my own closet, and none of it matches together. Now, what I just want is my life to be streamlined and easy. My makeup, streamlined. My skincare, streamlined. My schedule, mostly streamlined. And I just want to be able to open my closet, pick 2 things, have them look good, have them make me feel confident. There are so many decisions as an adult that you already have to make every single day. And for me, what to wear just couldn't be in the mix anymore. Now I still pick what I'm wearing. It's just, it all goes together. For me, streamlining my closet was more important than the small amount of satisfaction I got from putting together an interesting outfit. I just want to look good. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel confident. And once I streamlined my closet, that became a lot easier. Number 6 is very similar to number 5 in that it does have to do with clothing and only buying things in my style. But I also now, as of probably about a year and a half ago, I only buy things within my color palette. I streamlined my closet, and then I still had a bunch of colors that didn't necessarily always go together, and I found that I was always gravitating to a few colors, and that was black, gray, white, red, blue, and sometimes green and purple, not too often. So what I've decided to do is just to stop buying clothes that fall outside of that range for the most part. If there's something that I really like and it falls outside of that range, I'm not going to completely deprive myself of that. But for the most part, especially when I'm thrifting, I seek out clothes in that color, and it shuts off a lot of the world. My eyes are, laser focused. Let me find a red shirt. Let me find a blue shirt. And because most of my shopping is done at thrift stores, it does make things a little more streamlined and a little bit easier. And then I find that all of the clothes that I have are interchangeable and I'm comfortable in them because they're colors that I know that make me look good. And last but not least is number 7 on the list. I no longer buy body wash. And I'm not saying that I don't I don't wash myself, because that's not what I'm saying. What I buy now is one specific bar soap that I've been using for years. I know works for my skin. It works well for my fiancé. I personally like the Dove bar soap and the fragrance-free option. It's moisturizing. It doesn't bother my skin. It doesn't bother my acne. My husband seems to like it, although he's not particularly picky. It works well for hand soap. It works well for body soap. It's kind of a dual action product. I just like to have less plastic. Now, I can't necessarily get away from all the plastic in my life. Unfortunately, my shampoo and conditioner still come in plastic bottles. My lotion still comes in plastic. But where I can, and where it's an easy swap, I do like to make that swap. And for me, that was in the realm of body wash. Bar soap works just as good, if not better, in my opinion. So that's what I stick with. It's funny because the reason that I started using bar soap is actually because of my grandma. She told me a story about when she first retired. She was in some sort of a retirement club, if you will. I'm not exactly sure what the situation was, but the leader of this club said, all of you need to start using Dove bar soap as your hand soap because it helps with anti-aging. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I think back then, Dove bar soap was probably one of the more moisturizing soaps on the market. Nowadays, I don't know if that's true. There might be better options, but I've used it ever since then, which I think is kind of funny because I was trying to pinpoint when and why I jumped onto Dove, and I remembered that story, which is kind of funny. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to know in the comments below, what are some things you guys don't purchase? Maybe you can add to my list. Whether you're a minimalist, aspiring minimalist, or not, I'm curious to know what you don't buy and why. I keep needing to tell myself to look at the camera and not at myself. How am I going to finish that sentence? About 10, not 10. Cut. Ooh, I'm getting red because I'm nervous. Is makeup that We're going to cut and I'm gonna start over.